We need personhood rights for the animals, and that is absolutely critical, because with that we can make people become more accountable. We can make them help us, because then it is the law. So it's my number one goal. We must get this accomplished. It needs to go on the ballot. We need to get signatures together. We need to get this on the ballot so that we can vote on it in general elections. It needs to be implemented, it needs to be signed into law, implemented, and we need to have this in our hands, this law, so that we can do something as lawyers and activists and politicians and so on, so that we can actually do something with this, something very productive with it. And then people can no longer say, that they can no longer back out of their responsibilities. They can no longer look the other way and be speciesist and so on. So then they'll have to respect the animals' needs just as much as they respect a little girl crying, screaming for help. They'll have to respect the puppy dog crying equally much. And so that's the future. This is where we need to move to. It certainly is not welcomed by commerce. It's not welcomed by the gun manufacturers who want to sell their guns and their rifles. It's not welcomed by commerce, by most corporations, except for the corporations that are moving us forward. By all the other corporations, it's not welcomed, because then they can't do their exploitation anymore. Naturally, they'll find excuses after excuses why they stand against it. So, and that's why I say to people, be strong and stand up. Stand up for the animals' rights. Stand up for your own rights. Stand up for sentient rights. Okay, sentient life. Stand up for sentient life. Very, very, very critical. Very important that people begin to understand this. Begin to understand the importance of personhood rights for animals. Okay, because they're equally sentient as humans. So because of that, they need equal rights to protection, well-being, health, and freedom. Very, very important. And dignity too, just as much as people have and require. They require the same exact rights to their sentient existence. And everyone knows, that's not news. Everyone knows, if they observe animals, everyone knows they are just as sentient as humans. But they want to twist this. So they want to twist it to fit their whatever religious ideations, religious fanatism, religious grandfalunism, commerce, convenience, and so on. Greed. So that's what we need to get away from. We need to move towards altruism, and the very first step to make is to get personhood rights for the animals. Very, very, very incredibly important. So, yes, and yesterday I was sick and I felt like I was enabled because of the horror images that I've seen and the dog scream. It's just way too much. It creates an overload for me where I feel like I get so bad I feel so sick sometimes that I feel like, oh my gosh, this is the end or something, you know. That's how it feels. If it actually literally knocked the lung out, knocked my lungs out, knocked my air out of my lungs. It felt like I could not breathe anymore. It felt like my lungs they were pushed down or something. Like there was some lead weight on my chest that was weighing down my lungs. It was really, really severe. That's depression. It's severe clinical depression when that happens. And I already suffer from depression. It's already always like keeping my head over water, you know. So, and then when this happened, when I get overwhelmed with the worries and with the heartbreak and the grief over the suffering that's going on all around me and on the whole planet, which I get to see because of my activism work, then it crushes me. It's just it gets to the point where I can't take it anymore. I had to request with a few animal rights organizations not to send the gruesome images anymore, and I request that to everyone, to Peter, to Ingrid Newkirk. You have to respect that some people, you have to take into consideration, into respect that some people are not as mentally, psychologically hardy, you know, as would be the right word, you know. So I'm not as hardy as most people are. There's quite a number of us highly sensitive people. We can't take it. It's just too much, you know. I also can't take bright lights or neon lights or harsh sounds or harsh voices, angry energies, and cruelty images and so on. So I was never able to handle this. And so, but I have exposed myself to it anyway because I care, because I want to help, you know, with my single voice. That's what else can I do, you know. I have to do it to help. We have to all do it. We have a responsibility for this. But we should not be bombarded with the actual cruel scene. So there should be an option on the first page, you know, on the post. There should be a neutral image. It is always good to have an image and not just a blank. You should have an image, but don't put the extreme suffering on that image. So put a neutral image there. If it's about cats, show a cat photo, but not of the actual scene. Then you should have a link underneath for the people who want to know more about the story, who aren't convinced yet, who want to read the entire blog about it, and who want to see photos or maybe videos. Okay. And that should be an option for people, and in form of a link. Okay, and then they can click that link, and then they can get all the information if they want to, if they are not that super sensitive as I am. So yeah, a lot of people, they can read this, they'll feel bad, they will sign, and then they can move on with their lives. I can't, so I get sick, physically sick, and it could kill me. It could, yeah, definitely could. If I stop breathing during my sleep, it can knock me out, or it can make me suicidal. You know, either way, it will do away with me if I don't respect my sensitivity and these boundaries that I have to set for myself with this. Absolutely. So it's my appeal to the animal rights organizations. Do this. What I told you. It's very important. We will be way more productive if we do it this way. And I also see that the violent images chase a lot of people away. They don't even look at the petition at all. They'll just click it off. Ooh, done with it, gone. So I know that those people are out there too. So it should be, and the title should be clear. It should be not be misleading or misunderstandable, and sometimes the title is kind of strange, and then people don't know what it is, and then they ignore it. So it needs to be very clear. It needs to be respectful but clear, and as brief as possible, and then a brief, distinct description of the situation and what this petition is for and who it is addressed to and what is accomplished with this petition. Brief and clear so that people know. Most people don't have time to read very long blogs, but again, there should be a link to further descriptions and for a more detailed report. Yeah, we can do so much more. We can do so much better, if more and more and more people help, if more people become altruistic, if more people do at least one act of kindness per day, if you just sign one petition per day. And also, I want to warn people there are several fake organizations out there, and according to what I have observed, there are people who I think are fakes. One of them is J.C. Rees, and the other one is Brian Tomasic. And I'm going to make myself very unpopular with this, probably, but I suspect these people get paid by the corporate agenda for it's like troll work, that actual troll work that they do. So J.C. Rees, and they work together for a while. I don't know. Brian Tomasic has split off and is venturing out to do more trolling on his own. But originally they were together, and they act like they are somehow cutting edge or something. It's all like it's a huge scam. J.C. Rees has this animal evaluator organization, like animal rights organization evaluation, like they do basically nothing. They're just it's to the outside world like making themselves look like they are evaluating animal rights organizations for their legitimacy and for their rank of impact that they have, or the worthiness of our donation money. And I looked into it in more depths, and unlike most people, I have time on my hands, and I am not easily appeased with things. So on first glance, I thought, animal rights. and then just one clue after another came, and I was like, yeah, this doesn't make sense. Well, this doesn't make sense, and that doesn't make sense. And so the posts that they have done on Facebook, and the articles that they have promoted from themselves and other people, those are misleading. Those are geared towards one purpose, to to mislead people about animal rights, to take people away from animal rights, and to make people think it's all cool, the chicken industry, for example. But they're market psychologists. They learn this. They learn how to write something in a way that makes the reader think, oh, this is okay, that makes the reader not question it. So it's like anti-information, dangerous anti-information. They try to come through the back door. They try to sneak in, and I've seen these people do this all over the place. If there are whole websites out there that debunk, for example, recycled paper products, and they'll write a ridiculous article that say there are chemicals in it that are bad for us and so on, to try to sway the buyer away from recycled products. And it's a complete scam. It's not even based on any really solid evaluations from chemists or environmentalists or scientists. So it's just, those are debunking, misleading scam websites. And so in this animal evaluator thing, that they will then put the scammiest organizations on their number one list and stuff like this, to mislead, to take away the donations that would otherwise go to Sea Shepherd, to sway a lot of those donating people away from the good organizations like Sea Shepherd, and bring them to their empty shell organizations, and to many different fake, or kind of like what Warren Buffett has with this organization, in quotation mark, or a company like Hathaway. It's like the name itself is like it's already like a punch in the face. It's like, if you look at the name, like Hathaway, like half away, like let me snatch this away from the taxpayer. So it's a loop organization that loops his donations back into his bank accounts or his fake groups or whatever, fake organizations. The Bill Gates Foundation, to funnel money away from, like take all these anthropocentric, philanthropic, rich donors, and take their money so that they will feel good about themselves, pat on the shoulder, we donated a lot of money. They'll get a big tax break, they'll get some hand washing done under the table, and it's just a complete funneling scam, that is going on to take the taxpayers' money. The taxpayers are the middle class, the ones who work the hardest. Okay, let's put it that way. They take that money, and people don't even know. And so the money is funneled away, into those people, into weapon manufacturing. It's just, I had a lot of time, so I wrote about it. I make videos about it, and maybe the only good thing about this is that I only have 5 viewers, because if I had more, I would put myself in a lot of risk. I would put myself definitely in a risky situation, and at best they would ridicule me, at worst they will kill me. So, but and I've already had I had verbal hitmen after me, yeah, trying to devastate me. So there are some trolls that have already come on my heels with things. The Bernie Sanders campaign is another one of those fraud things, fraudulent, corporate geared scams to it's only geared at one purpose, that is to take votes away from Hillary Clinton. That's why I want people to pay real close attention to these things. So, and Brian Tomasic too, who used to work with J.C. Rees, and the kind of it amazes me that people like Adam Ford would interview those people, or yeah, I don't know who else interviewed them, but so all of this, then when I see why are they interviewing these people in the first place? Are they also getting paid for interviewing these shallow shells of corporate interests? What's going on here, So anyway, there's no way I'm going to support Adam Ford anymore. So he also bullied me, by the way, on Facebook. So when I see this kind of behavior, there is absolutely no trust anymore towards people like this. I pay very close attention. I'm not going to let things slip by like that. But anyway, that Brian Tomasic, I really gave him the benefit of the doubt in the beginning. I talked to him, and he was quick to respond, because he's not famous yet. He's just trying to. He's not even interested in. He's paid for this, and he's a paid troll, basically. And that's what I believe. It's my opinion. I'm not going to make any concrete statements about this. I'm just saying this is what I'm observing, and this is what I'm suspecting, and this is my right, my freedom of speech that I'm practicing. I have the right to talk about the suspicions that I have about several different people. This is my right here in the United States to talk about this. So anyway, some of these people are from Canada, some of them are from Australia. Trolls come from all over the place, including Germany. They hire Germans too, like to take on the voter swaying votes away from Hillary. So people in Germany will do it. You'll ask, why would they do it? What do they have to do with this election? Well, they get paid. That's why they get paid, and also there's also peer pressure, because obviously they have already gotten into the minds of certain societies, and they have already gotten into their fear factor of social rejection, so that adds to it. But I think the main incentive here is definitely they're getting paid. A lot of people are getting paid for trolling, for doing all this trolling for the corporations. And it's a pity that these things are happening, but since I have time and I've paid attention, why not bring this out there to the public? Why not talk about it? So I think it is very important that I talk about it. So let me give you my number one choices for organizations. Absolute number one, 10-star, Sea Shepherd Conservation Society. Okay, vote, donate to them. Okay, vote for them with your heart. Okay, vote for the whales. Right? Help them with your voice, with your activism, with your money. Help them out. Okay, they are the absolute best. So I also believe in Ingrid Newkirk, in PETA. They are slandered Why are they slandered? Because they stand in the way of the corporate exploitation. Okay? So stand in the way of animal exploitation. They don't want animals to be exploited, and therefore those who exploit animals don't want Peter, because they want the corporations want to exploit animals. Peter doesn't want them to exploit animals. So there's a conflict here. There's a confrontation. There is a clash happening, and I want people to put A and B. A lot of people don't understand it, so forgive me if I explain this a little bit more clearly for anyone who does understand it. But there's the majority of people do not understand this situation. They are mainly an educational organization. Okay, they are getting people to make better buying choices. Okay, this collides with the greed need of the corporations that are exploiting animals. Does this make sense? So the corporations want to silence Peter, and that's why they hire market psychologists to slander Peter, to make people feel threatened of social rejection if they did support Peter. No? So they get into people's heads. So people, particularly rural USA, the ones who are less educated, they fall for this hook, line, and sinker. They're the first ones to fall for it. I've observed this all around, locally, national-wide, particularly here in the United States. This is happening. Okay, the people here are targeted for this. So pay attention. Okay, Peter is a good organization. They educate the public. As long as Ingrid Newkirk is in charge, I'm sure that corporate people have already tried to infiltrate them and to undermine them and to break them apart. I'm sure this has already happened, and they will sure try everything they can to destroy Peter. But as long as Ingrid Newkirk is there, she pays attention, she's extremely intelligent, she'll see these things and she'll kick people out. She'll kick the wrong managers out. Yeah, it's the same thing with the Hillary Clinton campaign. There are several people in the Hillary Clinton campaign who I do not trust because I think they are infiltrators. I believe that Huma Abedin is an infiltrator in the Hillary Clinton campaign. I'm sorry to say it, but this is what I have been observing, okay? The kind of emails she sends out, the fundraising emails, very aggressive. I don't know if this is just her style or if this is to make people not like them, or if she is, and also kind of wording and kind of things that are designed and to the whole design, the whole outline of this campaign. If someone like an infiltrator is managing this, and she had to kick many out. So then, but they'll keep coming. So if she kicks one out, the next infiltrator will come in to try to sabotage her campaign. And if they initially were not meant to sabotage her campaign, they later will do here and there with a little bit tweaking, because they're paid for it. If they get paid more from the opposition to do a little bit tweaking and sabotaging, they will do it. And they will do it in a way that you can't even directly notice it, that you'll think, oh, this was just a mistake, or this was just some typo, or no, it's not. And the booing that they put into, the fake booing they put into the sound with loudspeakers into the audience, nobody will notice it. No one really pays any attention to it. There's no booing. That booing is fake. But it is geared towards making the viewer on TV or later on the internet think that people are not happy with the campaign. Therefore, when people think that other people don't like it, they will be more likely to be influenced into not liking it themselves. And that's what they do. This is the tactics they play. Okay, I've already seen it in 2007 happen. They did major sabotage work on Hillary Clinton. It made me sick physically, literally. It really made me sick. I got real severe intestinal flu, really severe. And I know it had to do with this because it was making me angry, and it made me grieve, over this. That this was possible, and also the helplessness I felt, so Hillary Clinton doesn't know me. She'll probably never get to know me because I fall under the radar. My email to her will just like be among millions of emails not seen, So I would help her. I would love to help her. And she can trust me. I've said that many times before, but I am not seen. And they make sure of that too, that my videos are not seen, and they have already these programs that prevent my videos from, it's not just targeted at me, but at anyone who has certain key phrases, So they already have these AIs in place that will target those computers and channels and accounts that will have certain key phrases like personhood, rights for animals. For example, on Facebook, they deleted my petition on Facebook. So I threatened. I said I will take a lawyer, if my post is not put back on, or if I'll posted it again, and if this is taken off again, I will take legal action because I'm getting a little bit tired of this. And as soon as I said that, just like a few hours later, my post was back on, the original one, which is interesting, Those are the things I observe. They will deny it later. They will deny any of these charges. They'll say, oh, that's just a glitch or a mistake, or you must not have seen it, or, you already know that's how they are. But this is what I observed. And I have the right to speak about this. I have the right to bring this up. It's just one more indication that there are already a lot of AIs. I'm not even saying it was a person. Those are AIs that are doing this. They have designed the AIs that are programmed by the corporations that will delete certain posts, or they will sabotage certain channels, even computers. Now I'm using Google computers that cannot be sabotaged. Fantastic development in technology. That's what I'm looking for. That's what gives me hope. And I trust in Google the most, even though they are getting infiltrators in there. They started out with some very kind-hearted, geeky people, and some of them are still in there. One guy died. I'm questioning whether he died from an accident or, So I'm questioning these things. I'm questioning whether the Secretary of the Navy or the acting Secretary of the Navy has committed suicide. I'm questioning these things. I have the right to question it because it looked too much like a staged situation. It looked like murder to me, So when there is greed, there is extreme sabotage, there's marginalization happening, there's silencing happening, there's murder happening, you name it. I just want people to know that there's no shape-shifting, okay? There is no secret occult meetings, okay? It's only greed, Okay? And when there is greed, then the greedy people naturally find the other greedy person convenient, because then they can all in some way create their network of hand washing and of corruption. Okay? Corruption. Together bring something down for their own convenience. So let's pay attention to this and be more alert and give your money to those who deserve it, and be way more suspicious about the other ones. Peace out, bliss out, take care of yourself.